Hey guys, TJ here. I'm signing back on to the Attorney Trilogy. We're starting the third and final game in this particular trilogy. Yeah, we're starting the third and final game. Trials and Tribulations. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories. Ugh, how did I get into this mess? Why? Why'd I do that? That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. It was me. I didn't do it. "5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. Phew. It's finally time. I'm kinda nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning. Ah, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know. What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed. Look at my lapels. You obviously haven't gotten the temperament to be a lawyer. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today. Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberg, I'm at your service. Actually, this is my second time in court. Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said. And quite forcefully, too. I just found out yesterday. About the case, I mean. What? And you've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that. You see, I mean, of course I have. I think. Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client. Good morning there, everyone. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just wanted to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem. What's wrong? Do you have a cold or something? Mr. Wright? Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you're truly innocent, I promise I'll save you. Please, let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one that should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. First time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that child traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and, well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. For my client, and for myself. Wait. I've done this before. Like a long time ago. Never succeeded. Okay, so I didn't realize that this was the third game in the series, and I got it back on the DS a long time ago. Back when the DS was still relatively going. And I got this game not knowing that it was the third game in the series. And this case, I struggled so badly on this case. I think it was when Phoenix was on the stand. And I just had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So I gave up and traded the game in the next day. Holy shit. I didn't think I had played just a bit of the first case, the tutorial case this is gonna be, of Phoenix Wright 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Nice do. The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense. Yes! Well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. He's standing right next to you, girl! Bit of an emergency when he's standing right there. Emergency? But isn't him standing right... Yes, it is indeed. But isn't that him standing right there next to you? Yes. Well, you're just a rookie. Are you sure you can handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think. God, Mia, you are just as green as Phoenix was. Kind of still is sometimes because of the way he some of the stupid plans he comes up with. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please. Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It'll be all over soon. What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Eevee University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. Doug Swallow what? Doug Swallow's a dick! Okay, that was bad. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology. It sounds like he was a very bright young man. Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway, they then called the police. That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. This court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo. Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that the victim died a rather unusual death. An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne? Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. Huh? A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I am a genteel man, if you will. A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of. Ah, a perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause. Go on. Please say you know at least this much. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file. Oh, my hemorrhoids are beginning to... Oh no! Not the hemorrhoids! Oh god! Now see here. The details of this case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you? Well, me? Yes. That's only because I played the 2 games before this one. The court record! I think I can see that by pressing tab, or just by clicking it. Autopsy report. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Well, that certainly explains this. But how would that be Phoenix's fault? How would that be anybody's fault? How is this a murder? All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good, hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear. Yes, sir. I'll do just that. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. Just press tab here, and I already looked through it. Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death? Electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? How could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps? And the answer to that will become crystal clear as the trial proceeds, Your Honor. Or you could just look at the photo. The wire is broken. And the wire that is giving off the shocks is right over the victim. But before that, there is one more vital issue. What's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some blah 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 blah. Bleh, I'm a vampire, bleh. Why you? Actually, no, he doesn't look pale. But you can't tell me otherwise that he ain't a vampire. He's just a different kind of vampire. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Bad blood? What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. Is it illegal to punch someone like this in the face? Because I really want to. I really don't like this guy's smug attitude. That's which didn't pain for you. He's one smooth operator if you catch my drift. No, he's not. What the? What do you? They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Well, there's one thing he's killing, but it ain't rookies. Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence? Ah, no need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need, then shove it into old Greybeard's face. Do we have? Currently has a cold. Dated the Phoenix Wright's girlfriend, dated the victim until up until 8 months. Oof. But he was warning him about her, so she's obviously a bitch. Yes, sir. Into all Greybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg. Try to set a better example for the young lady. Yeah, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between the profiles and the evidence with tabs, so be sure to go over it all. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim? This girl. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it? Very good, Miss Fay. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in the story. Clearly. He's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness. Why am I forgetting what I had the judge's voice at? If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? The defendant himself? Almost Faye? It's fine! After all, Wright is innocent, right? He was the first witness. I fucking gave up at the first witness. Oh boy. The defense has no objection. Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. No. He means, what did you do before you were arrested? Oh! I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you're suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug Swap. But I didn't do it! I'm innocent, I tell ya! I'm telling you I was... What the defendant? Please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us. Yes, if the witness has something he wants to say. Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relationship with the victim. Right away, Your Honor. I guess this is kind of fading. Because this trial's probably gonna be a joke. I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer! All I did was find his body! I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. I see. So you hardly knew the victim. Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Whew. Looks like the judge understands. You're being naive, you know. Too naive. Huh? It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady. And that would be... This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination? He's right. And it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. But Mr. Wright is my client! Even if he is your client, in court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. I know I only just picked up this case, like, the day before. I haven't had a chance to really get everything. Yeah. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Even though I hardly know you. Hell of a way for introductions. Being the defendant of a murder case. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered? Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened, anyway. Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence that the man ate a murder! Oh my god! That wire could just have easily have been fucking faulty! Anyway, Mr. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the choose in the cops. I'm worried I'm gonna blast out the mic. Especially since he's doing quite a bit. What were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident. A coincidence, hmm? I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. You say you found the body, so who called the police? Huh? Unfortunately, it was some other students I notified the police. Other students? That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock. Yes! They saw him standing next to the body in shock. In shock of what? I don't know. Maybe the fact that someone fucking died? What? Is it true, Mr. Wright? Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. But I hardly knew the guy to begin with. So, you didn't know his face, or even his name, right? Right! Well, no. That is, I mean... So, which is it? Did you know him or not? Now see here! You can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day! Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me! Why didn't he tell me that before? I heard he used to date Dolly. Who is this Dolly person? Ah, yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. I almost said Delilah. Oh, I see. And yon love. So bittersweet. But that's all I know about him. Never even talked to us. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How was it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean. Yeah, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true! Cross my heart! I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night. May I ask you something, Miss Fay? Yes, Your Honor. What is it now? Who is this person, anyway? This Union Jack fellow. The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag. Oh, I see. So you mean the Stars and Stripes, right? As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me. Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now? Mia, there's a contradiction here. Mr. Grossberg! Quickly now, show that boy you mean business. With evidence, I mean. Okay, Mia? Check the court record carefully. Oh, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point? No. Because this might have been where I gave up. Like, all those years ago. I could use a little help. Please don't look so sad. Comparing testimony to the court record. Should be able to discover any contradictions if there are any. When you found one, I present the piece of evidence that contradicts the witness's testimony. Still, I don't see any contradictions in Mr. Wright's testimony. Maybe you don't have enough information yet. Information? You can press for more information. He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Hang on.
Objection!
Where's the Union Jack? Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back. Miss Face, there are some points to this line of questioning. Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute! He was wearing a leather jacket! The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I understand the impression that you accidentally came across the body. I was under the impression. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me. Mia, you've made our client cry. Let him! That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyway. Can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. Did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... What's the medicine that you took over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Oh, actually I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take another look at another photo from the crime scene. What's this? In the victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X.
Objection!
Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. What? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Solon must have picked up the bottle of medicine, jogged by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Order! Order in the court! Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence. Very well. The court will accept them into the record. The victim's... Hang on. The victim's watch... Time of death. 3 p.m. Well, technically a little after 3, but... Yeah. Also, the victim's wristwatch is broken. Broken? Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all this? This is really bad. Oh, my buttocks. My poor... Stop with the hemorrhoids! The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then around 3, we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I had been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Miss Fate, please, begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly. And this Dolly person is my, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart. Oof. What? What was that for, Mia? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something off. What did this poor man do? He didn't even do anything. All that happened was Phoenix called Dahlia his sweetheart. And then you just slap you just slap Grossberg. What did he do? He didn't do anything pervy or anything like that. He didn't bring out the hemorrhoids. Nothing. Dahlia Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is. So it was one of those nasty love triangles, I see. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist? I see. I gotta admit, I was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. Sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should go for some more details. About the timing of the meeting. So you're absolutely certain that you met at 2:45? Yeah, pretty sure. That's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in their labs whipping up something. Oh, looks like he's right about the time anyway. Goodness, let's go on with your testimony. There's one more. About the pharmacology department. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there's high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. So what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime? Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. So you say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Oh, that's right, I was. Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common? So, did anyone else know that you were taking the cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? What's that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Gosh, oh, why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of us. Mia, I didn't do anything. If anything, you should be punching Phoenix. He didn't do anything bad either, but still. I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. Better yet, punch him. However, there was one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is, You are correct, Your Honor. Because it's still attached? So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. But we can't. For all we know, it was just faulty and there was not a murder. I do have one idea, but it would be impossible to prove it. Mia, my dear. If you have any ideas, now is the time to present them. Mr. Goldsberg! Remember, silence is not golden. In court, anyway. Silence is not golden, huh? Well, in that case... Your Honor. Yes, Miss Bay? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. Not even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I'd totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. Hello? Hello? As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in the photo is the murder weapon? There's a broken umbrella, too. Well, naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines that pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then, the high voltage cable? Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That's the most likely explanation. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant! And much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright is the murderer. You do? But what is it? His fingerprints. Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle? Take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. You mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. In death or murder, he squarely pushed the victim toward the severed electrical... I need to know one thing before you go, flapping your pathetic little gums on that part. Was it severed before the murder? That's also a key question here. Because if it wasn't, pray tell, how the fuck did Phoenix Wright cut the cable? How did anyone cut the cable? He didn't bring a ladder with him. They weren't messing around with it. Was afraid? Was there pretty good winds going on? How the fuck did it get severed? Explain that to me, genius. Little pompadour ass. Order, order, order! That's enough. I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done. Mr. Grossberg! My hemorrhoids never lie. Please stop with the hemorrhoids. Show's over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright's innocent. No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Your Honor. At this time, I'm prepared to render a verdict in this case. Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth. The whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you, and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened. I've already told you, Mr. Wright. There's no need for further... I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow's dead. That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid. Afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please! Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear. I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fate? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. You really did push the victim. Feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the hard Please, please, shut up about the hemorrhoids. I can't anymore. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Well, that explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock. And that, as I say, is that. Simple explanation indeed. But even then, like, he didn't intend to do that. That would be what is called an accident. Ever hear of those before? Not every act of violence turns into murder. A simple explanation indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts. I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Be clear on that. Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. So, what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said she was a bad girl. Is that all? Yep. Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I just... Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I gave him just a light, gentle shove to the chest. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right! There was nothing like that at all. But it is possible that you merely overlooked it. Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like a cheap asphalt! I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness. A loud noise. What would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. That's not a snapping sound. You're not qualified to decide that! What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. I mean, got it. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Could it have been? Yes? Could it have been? Hurry up and tell us! When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, And did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. And then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well... Of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important! No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into testimony. Perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. So, Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella, and you're certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love. Oof, my stomach is not used to... Oof, my stomach is not to be used as a personal soccer ball, Mia. I'm sorry. Continue on with your testimony, witness. Well, Manager, let's start to get worried. After you shot the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious. You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition. Well, yeah. But like I said, I got worried about him later. At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Nope, nobody. Jeez. Could that stupid cough possibly sound any funnier? In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been the murderer. Unless we can find something that shows his innocence in the testimony, my dear, I'm afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever. Yes, sir. Right now, I need more info. Info that'll help me turn up some contradictions. Well, there's the umbrella. Fell down on his umbrella. And he was moved away from it. This is really the only thing that I can think of. Objection! Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his own umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Order, order, order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. I want it presented as evidence immediately. One by the victim, found near electrical pole, crime scene. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind! According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown by the wind. I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgments. No! I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's attorney. By the defendant's testimony. Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. I was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. I am afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess. You have another witness. Exactly! And this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Well, who is this witness? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. What? I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. Can't be serious. Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm about to blow this bitch wide open. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least he told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy? You can't be serious. After hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side, anyway. One day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She'd been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with the memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. What is there something in that bottle? Anyway. So after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne, 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Yeah, it was! But how'd you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this? Newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the... Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in the case. You believe there's some connection between these two cases. Am I correct? I want to read it. Very little information is being disclosed at this time since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning a 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Is that poison in there? Is there poison in this? I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving. I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. Maybe we should call this Dahlia Black Widow. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. What's with the stiff silence? It ain't the silence. It ain't the silence ain't the only thing that's stiff. In my long career as a judge, I've been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all! It was nothing. She's not going to screw you guys. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor's all mine! No, the honor's all mine! Oh, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard! Sir? Is there something I can help you with? You just go on and say whatever is on your mind. I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it. Yes. I can see why you say that. She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. I'd been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then, suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. But that's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go find some other students and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady! As old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of my own passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case with on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit. Mia Uh-oh. They know each other. What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before. Once. In any case, Miss Faye, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Faye. Madam? No one's grandma yet, girlie. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Feeney, Mr. Wright, is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese senryu poetry. Oh, how wonderful. It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area. Ah, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors. How else would you enter? Teleportation? So, who's this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie... Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please, go on. What did you see next? Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeney would never did a thing to Dougie. I pressed her for no good reason. I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? We don't actually have anything that shows that Phoenix's handprint was found on the jacket. Suppose your statement works in our favor for now. I'll hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary. And what did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry. I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember? Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only minutes prior. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt. By me. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on. How could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just, they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students. So, did the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked. Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, it's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find a contradiction on this one. Okay. We don't have anything. Wait, this isn't going to show the thing, the handprint. This isn't going to show the handprint. This is just covered in his fingerprints because it's most likely his. The umbrella. The entire testimony. This necklace. And this newspaper article, which at this point in time has absolutely nothing to do with this case. Okay, so I didn't press further on this one. Phoebe lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne. So let's drop feeble lies, Phoebe. So let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger the witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. She's not gonna screw you. That is, she has no supporting. The stare of death. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It'd be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. It didn't look that... I didn't hear anything on... Bitch, please! You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Is that correct? Yes. That's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in your testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. The testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. Well, it was raining. She didn't hear anything. She was listening to music. There was lightning. It was raining. If there was lightning, would... I don't know. I barely know a damn thing about lightning. I know lightning rods are a thing, and electrical stuff could probably be a prime target. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was a lightning, correct? Yes. What about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere. Am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fay. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy, anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Dog Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. It appears that the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually an accident? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't... Never did you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay? I'm not. I don't have any opinion of you. Nothing good, anyways. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. Debatable. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at that location. Okay, that doesn't mean there wasn't lightning, period. That just means that he didn't get Pikachu'd. What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely to this case. Okay, no, that might be more Pikachu'd. The lightning would be fucking Zapdos. Evidence, Mr. Payne. Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. And who is this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m. Which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report? Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching a severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump could have caused them to break. Old power cable broke due to some sort of impact at 5 minutes before his death. However, there was one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor, I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Uh-oh. The push. Uh-oh. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened on around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was the impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted him, like the witness. Order in the court. The lamentations of my enemy. I want to hear them. It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have... Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the... Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge?
Of course it's alright. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. The truth is, Phoenix pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Ducky tried his best to run away from him. But Phoenix caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Ducky being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute.
So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm so sorry, Phoenix, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As people as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Phoenix. So that's why you basically lied to the court. I was a bad girl. I know. Mr. Judge?
Yes?
Would you please forgive little me? Of course he won't! Right?
Oh, come now. It was just a little old white lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, alright?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge.
Not at all.
The judge had better be more careful himself. Dark Alley is friendlier than that girl. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole. I know he doesn't look it, but Phoenix can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be.
There's a difference between being mischievous and being malicious.
Oh, really? But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Phoenix really is scary when he gets mad.
Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
So let me get this straight.
You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched the scene unfold?
Miss Faye, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness.
She still won't screw you.
I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on.
Cheer them on? What do you mean by that?
Well, I wished the best for them both, and that they would each give the fight their all.
That's very sweet of you to be supportive.
And what happened after that?
That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, there were also prints found on the back. Were there also prints found on the back of his leather jacket?
But, well, no, there weren't. Madam Faye, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he?
Not unless he was full-on shoulder charging. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted?
I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable. Yes, indeed. It would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold. I don't figure out the contradiction here. It's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her lie, so this may be my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Vina pushed him twice. Since the electrical call, that's when the cable broke. Tucky tried his best to run away from him. Caught up to him, crashed with him from behind. Cable snapped. All occurred in less than a minute. Hang on. The time of death was 3 p.m. The students said the power outage happened 5 minutes before that. Bitch, what are you trying to pull? That's enough, witness.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture?
Oh, the medicine. That's the one Fenian likes to take his colds.
It's not the medication I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye? My point is, what time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Yeah! Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Oh, order in the court. What is it? This is nonsense. The real murderer? Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer? Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as his real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well. But remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. It's obvious. It's so obvious. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who's the real killer? Dear Dolly. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? How can you...
The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order, order! Miss Faye! What? I mean, why? That's to say... Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands.
How can you say something so mean, Madame Faye? I didn't do anything.
Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge, Oh, hi, Phoenix. Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. Besides sneezing and coughing. You, what is it? Please, please strike everything the defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back to your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Ah! Leave my Dolly alone! That boy. He's gotten himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Thank you. I am going to take a look at it. Location, District Court Cafeteria. Date and time, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim, Diego Armando. Dahlia was suspected in that. Ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity of the person. Oh. Well then. This little spider lost her poison. Explains why she wanted it back. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You'd better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Oh no, oh, she killed her boyfriend. She killed Mia Faye's boyfriend. Oh dear. Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't you worry, my dear. I have this situation well in hand. She's still not gonna screw you.
Go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Very blatantly. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. That notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to hear.
I believe this girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement of the cafeteria in this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet, and she gave him the bottle with the fucking poison. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about?
About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? Objection! The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that, she in fact had very good reason.
Very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge.
Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm bringing the heat. This bitch is gonna burn. I first met my darling Phoenix 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey. We literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you'll be held in contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her!
So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes? I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even talked to calling me Judge Fickle.
Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge Genie.
Courthouse reading room. That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madame Faye. After all, Feeney was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne.
What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This kind of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case.
I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I'd better tread carefully.
Again.
Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courtroom reading room?
The court stairs reading room? Did I say that? If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had to come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. You were writing a paper? On what? On the relationship between modern semi poetry and the criminal underworld.
Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff.
No. Well, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it with you, so be sure to read it carefully.
I had to come to this court.
Bitch.
You didn't come to this courthouse for research. You came because you were a fucking suspect. Objection! Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? You didn't actually come here Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye? 8 months ago, right here in this very courtroom, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect in that incident list is listed. The name of the suspect in that indicted is listed here in this report. I swear I can read. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in the criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order, order, order! This is unbelievable.
It's true then. The loveliest rose can hide the cruelest. Miss Faye, that's not fair! You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I Winston Payne would not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me. Go right ahead. She's still not going to screw you.
It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me.
Express some interest,
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, we've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. Oh, you really lit a fire in my heart. And my buttocks. You sure that's not just your hemorrhoids? You can hardly tell which is more inflamed in my... Please, move on from the hemorrhoids.
I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I held my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that's lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that.
So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you've heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of the cross-examination.
What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Ha, Mia, you're going with the true lawyer's aura, my dear. Our proud posture and self-confidence? Absolutely smashing.
What were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential.
According to a report, you were being interviewed regarding another case.
The lawyer that was killed. He said he wanted to talk to me about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all what that incident was?
That has absolutely nothing at all to do with this case. Objection sustained. Defense's question stricken from the record.
You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dolly. I'll protect you.
You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady.
Oh, Phoenix, please.
Ugh, those two really are making me ill. Albeit for decidedly different reasons.
How long were you gone? I've already answered all these questions for the police. If you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes?
And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet? What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? Wait! Phoenix? 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 You're about to learn a little something about women. And that is that we indeed poop.
My perfect little Dolly doesn't poop!
You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time.
Oh, Phoenix, please.
The police have already looked into this whole matter. This kind of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time. Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with your testimony.
About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons? Let me see. My bottle of eye drop says it's 1/2 fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. So it's about 2/3 of that amount, The poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. Ah, itch. A special kind of poison. How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect. And where would something like that come from? I'm sorry. All I know is what I overheard the police saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it. Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive. Better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? And that's the reason they didn't arrest you. Because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison. I think that's a good enough reason, Madam Faye. She's right. I think we've all had enough of Miss Faye's questions. So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was ever arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison. Then all you have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now just how did a literary student get a hold of poison of all things? How did? Okay, do we know that this had the poison in it? Wait. Wasn't your boyfriend at the time a pharmacology student? You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison. I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab? Boyfriend? You mean the victim Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table. You! No! Order! Could it be? That's nothing but a barely accurate. May I say something, Madam Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? No, because the guy that had it left. She's right. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? She's gonna be good with that one. Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. Police conducted a full body search of Dolly on the entire courthouse. Yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. If we're going to accuse the young lady of committing a murder, then where is the container this poison was carried in? What happened to it? Well, she gave it to Feeney. were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was the witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present. What? But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does this mean, Miss Faye?
The day the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright 8 months ago, August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? At least the remnants of it.
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No!
Order in the court.
Objection! On behalf of Dolly, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this.
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her?
Why?
Because I'm madly in love with her.
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway?
Well, I guess you must be madly in love with me too.
Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace.
Yeah.
Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck.
My necklace?
Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself.
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back.
You're lying.
But you never gave it back to her.
And to make things worse for her, you
insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she...
I don't believe you. No, that's a lie!
Mia, are you alright? The defendant, he's getting away. Bailiff, hurry, after him.
Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness.
Oh no! What is it?
The bottle necklace! Mrs. Hawthorne's present! It's gone!
What? That's terrible! Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace?
Forgive me, I'm sorry.
It's okay, just give back the necklace.
I hate it. You what? You ate it?
It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first. But how weak is that thing or what? What? Ugh. What is he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? The bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it. It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly, that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. How can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination. So it would seem. No! There must be some mistake! The bottle must not have had any poison left in it! Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's alright, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. She's still not going to screw you. Which is why I can't state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand. But in a court of law, evidence is everything. Even after I proved so much, she's going to get away with everything? Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial. Mr. Wright! I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you. What is it? That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you it's for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl's a thief. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous! There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is Miss Fay. You tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Fay, if you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore, exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? I think it may have been Phoenix. Sorry, buddy. Your girl wanted to kill you. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me? That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace. That's all she cared about. But even so, why? Why would she go so as far to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria. Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean, that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. It can't be true! Feeny, what a joke you are. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and the necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne? It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Well, Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you? You really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind. But we're not finished. Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia! If you keep pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price? You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No! You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or should I say, Miss Gray? Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly! Stupid woman. It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. Just one? If you are unable to establish your guilt, then I'm afraid that very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Well then, Miss Faye, please present your evidence. The cold medicine! The cold medicine! Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove our guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X. Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. Does our Ricky defense attorney here have a bit of cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle a bit around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly. Just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it knowing Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was just the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine. I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she'd accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That's when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet the defendant. Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene of the crime, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poisoned cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago? Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it, in this case Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? This stupid woman. She's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation. She's still not gonna screw you. I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay?
Why? Yes.
I'm going to go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best.
Bitch. Whew. It's finally all over.
I refuse to accept this! The defense has to show him a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim!
But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it.
I don't care! I'm Winston Payne, and I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said!
Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Would you care to try this cold medicine?
What?
Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said...
There. It's alright, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life.
So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right?
You see, yes.
And here comes the back paddle. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life? Oh, is that how he lost his hair? He lost his pompadour because Mia Fey absolutely destroyed him in court. Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest.
Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie. Just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fey.
Yes, Your Honor?
Was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia seem to know each other?
Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Very well. Mr. Payne.
This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter.
It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say? Can't be true. My dear Dolly. Very well. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright, not guilty. This court is adjourned. Ow, I didn't. I would not be surprised if the mic didn't pick that crack up. Mia, you were wonderful in there.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my...
Would you please stop it with the hemorrhoids? Mr. Grossberg? Do you,
maybe think you could stop talking about them? That's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations!
Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on? The Dolly I saw up there on the witness stand. I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, the Dolly I know could never have said those kind of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But, out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. What kind of company does this guy keep? Well, you'll find out. You were there for his first trial. Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself.
That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer's someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. But Mia had passed on to a better place. Yeah, she died. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia is gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Something has happened that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that's a story for another day. We're not gonna meet that woman again, are we? The stolen turnabout. Who is... Why is there someone that looks like they should be in a sci-fi series in here? The time is 1 a.m. Detective, we made it! Whew. What a relief. Glad the jewel is still safe. Oh, hey, Gumshoe. Oh, you said it, pal. Must have been our rock-solid security that scared him off. Would you mind opening the safe just to double-check? It's empty. It's empty. Mask demask. Ah, we've been had! Up front! Guards! Turn on the searchlights! Better look next time, gentlemen! Excuse me, but I'm afraid I must be leaving now. We shall meet again when the next moon is full. God, that laugh. Hey Nick, get a load of this! Hey Nick, get a load of this. We'll get a load of it in the next episode. So that's technically how Phoenix met Mia. And in turn, became a lawyer, and in turn, met her sister. Alright. We'll see what's up with the sci-fi advisor dude. Probably prosecutor. Wouldn't surprise me. There are some pretty interesting prosecutors. And most of them being Edgeworth, or Von Karma, or Von Karma. But, hey, looks like we'll get to meet a new prosecutor. Unless he's the suspect whose case we're gonna take on. But who knows? We'll find out in the next episode. Till then, I'm signing off. Bye-bye.